Well, a lot of notes I have is that O'Bannon on the set of this one was not fighting, but was basically,
Standing up for
nitpicking
what he
Walter
wanted,
Hill, wanting certain things. Like they wanted the original, the facehugger was going to be painted green, and he was like, no, he liked that the way it looked. It was a flesh colored.
Good for him, because that would have changed. I think if the facehugger was green, that honestly probably would have lessened the impact this movie had on audiences. Like, I think the facehugger flesh colored and that more sexual thing.
Well, I think that's the whole part of this. The whole thing with the Geiger, the H.R. Geiger design for the alien.
But the facehugger is not Geiger, because they hated Geiger's design for the facehugger.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the other.
I can't remember the director who they were. So they interviewed a bunch of directors for this movie before they went with Ridley Scott. And when they were talking about, I can't remember who the director was. They asked him about to talk about the facehugger, and he was just like, "Who cares? It's going to be a bunch of It's just a bunch of noodles or spaghetti. Who cares? Yeah. No one's going to remember it once they see the alien." It's like, he didn't get the job, obviously. But I was just like, dude, what an answer! Like, he just didn't prepare for this interview.
It's just some schlocky sci-fi thing. Who cares?
Yeah. Okay, pal.
The facehugger still works so well. Like, I know obviously they cut, but like the way the tail wraps around the neck still looks so good. The way it's breathing on John Hurt's mouth, it works so well. And obviously the entrails, which was like, what was it? Oyster and sheep stomach or something? Oh,
when they were doing the autopsy. It was, they used fresh shellfish, 4 oysters, and a sheep kidney to recreate the internal organs. And they had to do it fast because obviously it was spoiling and going bad. They also used, for the eggs, they were using a lot of like entrails and stuff, like the, when the little covering before the facehugger pops out is like sheepskin, is like a sheep stomach layer or something like that. So there's a bunch of gross stuff in there, because it looks legit. So they were using it. So I mean, good for them, but it must have stunk on set.
Oh yeah. John Hurt probably didn't smell it that much when he was busy passing out in his giant spacesuit because they couldn't breathe in it, and it was so hot.
I know. I mean, yeah.
They had aerosol spray coming at the top, but it malfunctioned and sprayed back into their helmets. And it wasn't until their own kids in the miniature shots passed out that they're like, all right, let's make some changes.
So Butler's referring to the fact that the aerosol spray was used to show oxygen, right? Wait, to show
the oxygen was coming out of there.
Yeah,
or carbon dioxide was ever shoot out back.
Yeah, so a little behind the scenes stuff. Some more behind the scenes stuff. If you want, the slime of the alien head is KY jelly, and they use shredded condoms for the tendons of the jaws. So they were using like anything they could, which I appreciate, because now it would be like, specifically designed for this alien. Like, it's nothing like
it's like synthetic skin that we have in Winston Lab.
Yeah, costs $10,000 a pop. That's why the budget for this film is $150 million. So I imagine like that's as we get into these alien films, the budgets are going to get higher and higher.
I really like the close up, and I think you only see it twice, of the alien's mouth. Obviously, it's got the condom jaw muscles, but the way the lip quivers. Which even in Alien 1, because obviously everybody remembers all the close-ups in Aliens of the warrior aliens and the lips. But even to be able to do that, even in 1979 with the first one, I was like, that's impressive. That angry lip quiver looks really cool.
So while we're talking about the alien, I'm not a fan of the dude in the suit. I'm not a fan of, and I get it. It's low budget. But you're looking at it,
low budget, and you've seen the alien from Aliens.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. I think once the alien work they do in Aliens almost feels like, okay, we got it. This is what the alien's going to be moving forward. You know what I mean? So I think that obviously Alien is and there's no knock against it. It's a low budget film, obviously. So it's there's 3 different suits. There's a suit for the 7 foot tall, and I'm going to butcher his name, Bolahi Badelo, who played the alien for certain scenes. He's actually, so when Ripley gets on the shuttle and she's hitting all the switches, and the alien's like laying within the wall and moves like that's him. And they actually built it around him so that he could fit there, but he just couldn't get out of it. If you could tell as he's trying to get out of the thing, he's like, oh God, I can't. Yeah. So there's that suit, that big suit. There's a smaller suit for a stuntman. And then there's obviously, the stuff they create when they have the close-up stuff and stuff like that, when it's more of what you're used to from Aliens.
Was the part that really took you out of it when he attacks Dallas? Because that's what it takes me out of it.
Yeah. That's like when he turns and he's like,
yeah. Like he's doing jazz hands. Yeah.
I know.
Hey guys, his gloves are like wobbling. It's just like, you needed a slightly quicker cut.
But I get it. It's fine. But yeah, that's kind of like, oh no. and even that scene I just described when he's laying in the side of the ship and he's coming out, you can kind of tell. Yeah,
when it looks like
right. Yeah, I know. I obviously I think Aliens and Cameron perfects everything they were trying to do with this one, but also Cameron had a lot more money, so it helps
a lot
when
more
that
money
happens.
and 7 years more special effects.
Yeah. So, it's completely fine. I mean, Alien walks so aliens could run, and you don't have Aliens without this film. So you can't, I'm not going to knock this film because it's not that, so, and I also think I like that it's a different type of movie. I think that helps as well. If they just did the sequel mimicking this, I think then you're going to have the comparisons and it's going to kind of diminish what we're talking about here. But I think because they're two different types of films, I think that kind of it puts it in a different light, which is great. So obviously this movie won an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, and it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Art Direction and Set Direction. So it is an Oscar winning film, which is, always good. The rough cut for this film was 3 hours long. Can you what was in that rough cut?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, barring the fact that there's scenes that are omitted that I think are slightly important for the movie that are cut out of the director's cut just to make it the same length. I do appreciate the director's cut isn't what's the word I'm looking for? Not ostentatious, but
bloated.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, bloated, just so self-centered that he has to put all his scenes back in. I appreciate that he's a movie should be 2 hours. I'm not, or an hour and a half or whatever this is. I'm not adding, 3 hours back into this film because it's such a slow pace too, that 3 hours would just be excruciating.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I liked with this film was the wide shots, the lots of just wide one shots where the action plays out on the screen. When they're looking for the facehugger after it leaves, Kane's face and they're trying to find it. I
love that angle. That upward angle is really good.
Yes, but it's Dallas, Dallas walks out of frame and then he knocks something over, so it becomes like a jump scare kind of thing. You're like, oh, it's organic within the move, within the shot. Yeah. So I do like that. I don't know if you remember this, but there was when Ripley goes to talk to Ash about, why he let them through the door when Lambert and Dallas come back with Kane, it's protocol. They can't come in because, there's some kind of quarantine issue. And she's like, I can't let you in. And then Ash lets him in. And so later on, 5-10 minutes later, she sits down with Ash to have a conversation. There's a good 2 minutes of that scene where it's just on Ash and Ripley's talking and she's out of frame and she's delivering most of her dialogue out of frame over her shoulder, and you're just on Ash. Do you remember that? And what did you think of that?
No, I remember that. I like it. I mean, it's something that seems a little bit more 70s than it is today, getting all that coverage, but it allows you to kind of, Ripley's emotion. She's just angry, upset, annoyed at Ash, but Ash, that's who you want to, you're with Ripley. You want to know why he did it too. So while she's asking the questions, you can kind of get more out of Ash dodging the question than you are going to get out of Ripley just continuing to look annoyed or frustrated. So
you think it was a choice to focus on Ash there because, well, let me ask you this. Was it a choice because obviously what you just said now, but also at this point in the movie, we really don't assume that Ripley is the lead. It's just pretty much Dallas.
At this point, it's probably Dallas. Yeah.
Right. So, so do you think that was also, they were conscious of that as well, to kind of not tip their hand, maybe, or maybe it's just, this is the only shot we had.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be hindsight. They could have lost the can with Ripper's footage, and Ridley Scott's just like, we purposely stood on ash. I didn't lose it. It didn't burn up.
Fun. That could be. That very well could be.
Happy accidents. Hey guys, Mike Butler here from Forgotten Cinema. Thank you so much for checking out this clip from our Alien lead-up series. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more clips from that series, it should be around here right now. And other clips from our channel should be down here that the YouTube algorithm is recommending you watch. If you want to support our show, our Patreon link is down below, where we have the full episodes for our Alien lead-up series leading up to our now showing review discussion for Alien Romulus. So check that out. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you soon.